A condominium is a building structure divided into several units that are each separately owned, surrounded by common areas that are jointly owned. Residential condominiums are frequently constructed as apartment buildings. But there are also detached condominiums, which look like single-family homes, but in which the yards, corridors, building exteriors, and streets as well as any recreational facilities are jointly owned and maintained by a community association. Unlike apartments, which are leased by their tenants, condominium units are owned outright. Additionally, the owners of the individual units also collectively own the common areas of the property, such as corridors, hallways, walkways, laundry rooms, etc., as well as common utilities and amenities, such as the HVAC system, elevators, and so on. Many shopping malls are industrial condominiums in which the individual retail and office spaces are owned by the businesses that occupy them, while the common areas of the mall are collectively owned by all the business entities that own the individual spaces. The common areas, amenities, and utilities are managed collectively by the owners through their association, such as a homeowner association. Scholars have traced the earliest known use of the condominium form of tenure to a document from 1st century Babylon. The word condominium originated in Latin. Condominium is an invented Latin word formed by adding the prefix con together to the word dominium, dominion, ownership. Its meaning is therefore joint dominion or co-ownership. Condominia originally referred to territories over which two or more sovereign powers shared joint sovereignty. This technique was frequently used to settle border disputes when multiple claimants could not agree on how to partition the disputed territory. For example, from 1818 to 1846, Oregon Country was a condominium over which both the United States and Great Britain shared joint sovereignty until the Oregon Treaty resolved the issue by splitting the territory along the 49th parallel and each country gaining sole sovereignty of one side. The difference between a complex of residences, such as an apartment building, and a condominium is purely legal. There is no way to differentiate a condominium from any other residential building simply by looking at it or visiting it. What defines a condominium is the form of ownership. A building developed as a condominium, where a condominium is in essence an apartment building. As a practical matter, builders tend to build condominiums to higher quality standards than apartment complexes because of the differences between the rental and sale markets. They are typically slightly larger than apartments, and are often constructed in a townhouse style in regions where single-family detached homes are common. Technically, a condominium is a collection of individual home units and common areas along with the land upon which they sit. Individual home ownership within a condominium is construed as ownership of only the airspace confining the boundaries of the home. The boundaries of that space are specified by a legal document known as a declaration, filed on record with the local governing authority. Typically, these boundaries will include the wall surrounding a condo, allowing the homeowner to make some interior modifications without impacting the common area. Anything outside this boundary is held in an undivided ownership interest by a corporation, established at the time of the condominium's creation. The corporation holds this property in trust on behalf of the homeowners as a group. It may not have ownership itself. Condominiums have conditions, covenants, and restrictions, and often additional rules that govern how the individual unit owners are to share the space. Some condominium complexes consist of single-family dwellings. There are also detached condominiums, where homeowners do not maintain the exteriors of their dwellings, yards, etc., and site condominiums, where the owner has more control and possibly ownership over the exterior appearance. These structures are preferred by some planned neighborhoods and gated communities. A homeowners association, whose members are the unit owners, manages the condominium through a board of directors elected by the membership. This exists under various names depending on the jurisdiction, such as unit title, sectional title, common hold, strata council, or tenant owners association, body corporate, owners corporation, condominium corporation, or condominium association. Another variation of this concept is the timeshare. Although not all timeshares are condominiums, and not all timeshares involve actual ownership of real property, condominiums may be found in both civil law and common law legal systems, as it is purely a creation of statute. Among other things, the HOA assesses unit owners for the costs of maintaining the common areas, etc. That is, the HOA